We've just seen the catastrophe of the slide of the rubbish, which caused loss of life. So one of the physical one is that we have just experienced, but however, there are others which are not yet seen because we know there are fumes which are being emitted from such landfills, which are then blown to the neighboring localities. The scent and ambience is destroyed, so air pollution. We also know that these landfills can have leakage of water into contaminating the water systems below. And we also know that the soil becomes damaged. It cannot become porous because of whatever waste which is not sorted. So all those wastes and those challenges need to be thought about as we think about landfills as a method of managing waste in cities, especially, including Kampala.
Doc, what kind of health hazards and risks are likely to come out of this, and how are we going to manage those, or how are we going to be affected if we don't manage them very well?
As government of Uganda, we are always surveilling and looking out for any eventual outbreaks. One of the things we would be thinking about is outbreaks can spring from such spillovers. Contamination of waters we know can cause dysentery, diarrheal diseases, including cholera. We saw recently in eastern part of Uganda of outbreaks, which we know was a leakage or poor management of fecal material. So such contaminations can cause diseases. And so we prepare for some of the diarrheal diseases. As a nation, we do immunization and vaccination. We do awareness campaigns, but we also encourage the managers to come up with methods of better management of all wastes. I think we need a mind change set for people, how we manage our waste. We should be more cautious of how we manage what we don't need to use in our homes, because it can cause infections. It also includes management of medical wastes in the hospitals and clinics around the cities. They should be aware in how hazardous materials are transported and managed eventually.
And if you may, are we looking at some policy changes, adoption of new regulations as a result of the lessons we are learning here and going forward to find ourselves in a better situation, if you may?
Even before this current tragedy, government is already coming up with what we call the sanitation and hygiene policy for Uganda, which will be used to guide in how we manage all other materials, waste and otherwise, both infectious and non-infectious, and only for the sake of putting it in proper places to avoid transmission of disease. Secondly, I also know that government agencies like land are also coming up with guidance which will guide in how we manage the land management portfolio.